Hey guys, what's going on? This is Wayne Steven with Next Level Lifestyle. I was thinking about something this morning and I really hope I can accurately present what I'm about to say because I didn't even really plan on doing this. It was just something I was thinking about and I was like, you know what? I really want to make this comparison only because of what I've been through over the last couple of years, what most people don't know. I contracted a blood disease called AL amyloidosis, which, without getting too technical, it's when protein spills over into the blood marrow and it attacks certain organs. In this case, it attacked my heart and I almost died a couple of years ago. Now, in saying that, growing up where I grew up, death wasn't something that was uncommon. I saw somebody die when I was 7 years old. And just throughout my life, there have been people who have wanted to take my life. But the funny thing about that is I was able to accept that because it seemed a part of life. However, when I got sick, I was at my peak physical condition. I was doing bodybuilding shows, winning trophies. I looked amazing, but there was something going on the inside that I didn't see. And when we went to the doctors and they told me what it was and they told me how long I had to live, I almost instantly, first of all, two things occurred. Let me just say that. Two things occurred. One, the acceptance aspect happened real quick, only because at that point in my life, I felt like, and this is me being really candid, I was like being really arrogant, being really loose and flippant with my lifestyle. I wasn't being the best husband I could be. I wasn't being the best father I could be. Everything was about me and my prep and trophies and shows and traveling here and traveling there. And my life was really egocentric. There was no God first. There was no family. It was me. Like, I was the God of my universe during that point, and I was doing whatever it was that I pleased. And knowing that that is not what God wants for me personally, He needed to take me down a peg. So that's what I attribute that to. First and foremost, I just wanted to get that in there so people understood where I stood with that. Secondly, although the acceptance happened real quick, it was still a struggle for me because I was like, how could this be the case? When I'm at my peak physical condition, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and here I am, about 4 weeks from death. And the crazy part is, I realized in that moment that there's a difference between death and dying. Death is one of those things that you understand as a fact of life. No matter where you live, no matter what stage of life you're in, you're understanding that death is coming. Dying is one of those things where it's like, it's happening slowly, it could happen, something could come as a fork in the road and make it go left or right, where it can go positive or negative. And that was one of the things where I was like, this could still go, because even while I was accepting of what was happening within me and being strong for my family, there was still occurrences while I was sick that let me know, like, man, this could still happen. Like, I was having spells where I would just pass out. I'd be walking up the steps and I would just pass out. There was times where I woke up to an ambulance crew working on me, asking me if I wanted to go to the hospital. Side note, I never went to the hospital because I just really detest ambulance rides. I was stubborn about it. But, you know, when I was young and, you know, you're in a violent situation where somebody's like, yo, I'm about to kill this dude or whatever the case. You know, you're like, well, you know, charge it to the game. That was a violent situation. Dude wanted to kill me. This was something completely different, where it was just you laying in a bed alone, dealing with something that was slowly deciding what it was gonna do with you. And that was the part that I couldn't reconcile. I was like, this thing is slowly deciding what it's gonna do with me. Like, my heart was, first of all, when that disease attacks your heart, it makes it rigid. So it can squeeze blood, but it can't expand. So with that being the case, I was having these spells, fluid built up in my torso. I looked horrible. And it was just really, it was a trying time. But this morning, when I heard the word death, and then like just recently, a picture came up in my memories where I was like, oh man, Lord, that was just a year ago when I was on this stage of chemotherapy, and it just all came together in my thoughts. I was like, man, there's a difference between death and dying. And I wanted to share that because honestly, that's what I'm noticing is people are terminally ill a lot these days. And sometimes it's hard to come to grips with. And there's people facing violent situations every day. And maybe for them that's hard to come to grips with because some people aren't in violent environments to even have to be able to reconcile the fact that somebody might want to take their life. But there are people who are terminally ill who are like, man, I wonder if anybody understands this. Guess what? I understand both. I understand the fact that there are people out there who want to take lives and there are victims of those who want to take lives. And then there's people who are dying where this disease is slowly deciding what it's going to do with you based on the level of treatment. And I just want to give you a ray of hope. Both can be overcome. It's just you have to make that reconciliation in your own thoughts and in your own mind to not be defeated by either one of those thoughts, but understand that you can be victorious in it. This is Wayne Stephen with Next Level Lifestyle.